Okay, let's go from the moon to business. Kate Moody's here. Hi there, Kate.
Hi, Tom.
Let's begin with the latest on that on and off courtship between LVMH and Tiffany.
Yeah, that possible merger could be back on the cards now. A number of media outlets saying that they have resumed talks. The French luxury group called off that takeover back in September, citing in part the American jeweler's dismal performance during the pandemic and political pressure over the transatlantic tariffs. Legal cases have ensued on both sides. Tiffany trying to pressure the parent company of Louis Vuitton to push ahead with the deal. Now reports suggest that they have in fact relaunched negotiations for a price that would be well below the $16 billion that was initially agreed upon. The European Commission just gave the green light to that initial deal earlier this week. Tiffany shares rose around 5% in New York, while LVMH shares were down slightly at the close here in Paris. Well, that brings us to a check on the day's trading action. Wall Street has closed mixed. The tech-heavy Nasdaq managing some gains there, up about 0.6 percentage points. The Dow Jones down about 200 points, down 0.8%, coming off of its worst single session since early September. Tech companies are set to be really in the spotlight on Wednesday, as executives from Google, Facebook, and Twitter will be answering questions from a Senate subcommittee about whether they should be held accountable for misleading content posted by their users. The major European indices closed lower as the number of coronavirus cases across the continent continues to rise. The CAC 40 lost nearly 2 percentage points here in Paris, although the French gaming company Ubisoft saw its shares up 4%. While a Chinese company is set to break records with its stock market launch in Hong Kong and Shanghai next week, the Ant Group is a financial technology titan in the region, and it's majority owned by the country's richest man, Jack Ma. Kemi Nedlek has the story.
Investors have been bitten by the ant bug. Demands for shares in technology firm Ant Group was so high, order books were filled within an hour of launch. The company's IPO is set to become the largest ever, raising over 25 billion euros.
We are betting that Ant Group will be able to grow at a very high pace in the future.
It's the second brainchild of English teacher turned billionaire Jack Ma, who founded the e-commerce giant Alibaba. Already the richest man in China, the flotation is expected to make him another 22 billion euros. Ant's flagship service is Alipay, the world's largest mobile and online payments platform, and hugely popular with Chinese consumers. It's got more than 730 million active users, around half the Chinese population. During peak spending times, such as during holidays, the app can handle over 400,000 transactions per second, 6 times the capacity of Visa. Over 14 trillion euros in digital payments go through the app every year. In China, it's used to buy almost anything. Ant has also started offering loans to consumers and small businesses.
很多，比如我会用支付宝赶车，用支付宝买东西，淘宝上进行网购，买衣服裤子。
The company hasn't been free from controversy. In 2018, it apologized for sharing data on users' spending habits with its credit scoring arm. And there are fears that its data could also be misused by Beijing.
Moving on to some of the day's other business headlines now. Shares of the U.S. equipment maker Caterpillar dropped 3% as quarterly sales and earnings dipped. The company, which makes industrial machinery and is often seen as a bellwether for the state of the U.S. economy, said it saw encouraging signs about a post-pandemic recovery, but it declined to give financial guidance for the coming months. Lufthansa is bracing for a very slow recovery to air travel. A board member of the German airline has told Reuters that current predictions see a return to just 50% of pre-crisis levels over the course of the next year. A further 125 planes are set to be grounded as Europe deals with a second wave of the virus. Tens of thousands of jobs are being cut there. And TikTok has landed a deal with Canadian shopping platform Shopify, which will allow stores to create video ads that drive viewers directly to their websites. The partnership is a major advance for the Chinese app, which is still facing scrutiny from the U.S. government. Talks with Oracle and Walmart appear to have stalled, but a step into e-commerce could make TikTok an even more attractive deal for those giants. Here in France, the number of people out of work fell sharply in the 3 months to the end of September. The figures for people registered as fully unemployed fell by 11.5% after a record jump in the previous 3 months. The jobless numbers are still almost 10% higher than they were in the same period last year. Meanwhile, the French government is considering further measures to limit the spread of the coronavirus, and it's doubling down on calls for employers to encourage working from home as much as possible.
Ce qu'on constate dans toutes les entreprises qui appliquent ce protocole, c'est qu'il n'y a pas de chaîne de contamination. Donc c'est un protocole qui est efficace, même si on est bien protégé dans son entreprise. C'est important, dans le contexte actuel de l'épidémie, d'éviter les déplacements, d'éviter aussi les contacts qu'on peut avoir en marge de son travail. Donc je pense que c'est important d'aller à fond sur le télétravail pour les postes qui peuvent être télétravaillés.
Deemed places of significant contamination, gyms and sports facilities have been closed in all French cities that are officially on high alert for COVID-19, including Paris. But the closures have also been an opportunity for them to explore new ways of securing their customer base, as Joanna Citruk and Claire Pacalin report.
Margot now takes yoga classes in her living room.
On est attiré par le canapé, on est attiré par, moi en l'occurrence, le piano, mon travail, etc. Donc il me tarde que les salles réouvrent.
With Paris on high alert for COVID-19, Margot's gym has had to temporarily close its doors. But it learned to adapt while France was on lockdown earlier in the year with live and on-demand training videos.
C'est important pour garder vraiment ce lien avec nos clients les plus engagés, les plus fréquentants. Le digital, s'il est bien utilisé, peut être un vrai complément pour engager encore plus ses clients.
But the online classes far from make up for the gym's losses while it's closed. When it fully reopens, it'll offer membership plans that combine online and in-person classes. Not all sports businesses, though, have had to worry about closing their facilities. Based in an office at Station F, a start-up hub in Paris, La Sèche has been offering online-only classes since 2017.
Pendant le confinement, on a connu un pic de vente. On a vraiment essayé d'adapter notre offre à ce moment-là. Et après, c'est vrai qu'il y a une tendance à la hausse qui s'est manifestée ces derniers mois et surtout à la rentrée.
With community challenges, eating programs and healthy recipes, La Sèche is looking for new ways to engage with its customers and ensure they stick around when gyms and sports centres eventually reopen.
There you go. Online gym classes, something I think most of us have had to experience for the last few months, Tom.
Well, more disciplined people than me, because I haven't done one yet, but I will. Note to self, more online gym. Thank you very much indeed. Kate Moody there with the business news. Thank you so much to you. I'll be back in 3 minutes.